Dearest gentle listeners, you are listening to the Ladies Bridgerton, the talk of the town. We are your effervescent hosts, your neighbourhood-friendly Kiwi Tash from Middle Earth, New Zealand.
And Patty, Regency romance enthusiast, currently writing her chaos romantic heroine era.
And we have our special visitor.
Hey world, it's Kay. I'm back again in my painfully obvious and obnoxious era.
Back again. Settle down onto your favourite settee as we delve into the lives of the elite and illustrious ladies, lords, and royalty of the town. This Bridgerton podcast is three friends talking romance, symbolism, Easter eggs, deep diving into the connections of our favourite characters. We cover both book, TV series, and notable social media, and therefore will contain all the spoilers.
As we've said, we have Kay visiting again, so we are talking music. We've decided this is your Christmas present from the Tangent Queen.
Young and sweet. Patty's like, I wish.
Before we get back to the.
Patty's like, I wish my knees were 17.
I was 8.
Out.
You can't be coming in with the inside joke.
We're going to listen to this and think of all the things we said before it started, and that's going to be hilarious.
And then you're going to be blushing driving your car listening to the Tangent Queen. Oh.
I mean, this is a Bridgerton podcast, so the spicy be spicy.
I mean, to be honest, my mind is so inappropriate. I don't think it knows how to blush anymore. Now we must make haste into today's episode. Okay, so today's episode.
Well, first thing first, I want to put this in there. I received my Christmas presents from my Tangent Queen friends today. I got Zealand treat from Miss Tosh the Kiwi, and Kay and I have already enjoyed what were they called? The proper crisp Marlboro sea salt, and I've about ate that's grammar. I have about eaten all of the chocolate, and they're Whittaker's, them little
So Whittaker's is the most popular brand in New Zealand.
Yeah, I haven't eaten the big one yet.
Chocolates that had the front.
I saved the big one for last. Oh, this is going to be a great episode.
Yes.
So the big ones is just your run-of-the-mill standard milk chocolate Whittaker's bars.
Well, and that's going to be probably my favorite. I mean, I like candy bars with stuff in it, but
that's what I figured. I was like, you need the standard to give you the baseline of what how good the chocolate itself is, not the flavors, but just the chocolate.
And then to set the mood, because Tangent Queens always have snacks, so we talked about the snacks. But then Kay comes over today to join me, and we are now currently in the aroma of Colin's return. The Bath and Body Works Christmas season Bridgerton candle, and it's pretty nice. And she also brought me Penelope's first kiss and Diamond of the Season. That was
so can you tell me, what is Penelope's first kiss?
It is
peaches and cream.
How about I
shut up? Let's just remind the world
shade be shading.
That actually doesn't say on. Wait, let me look at the bottom. Yeah, his. Okay. Subtle white roses, soft peonies, and Rigiera pages.
What are pages? Oh, that's hilarious.
There's paper in this candle. Apparently,
it smells like a shade down.
It smells like
shade.
It smells like shade.
It actually, to me, it's. I would say this does smell like moonlight to me.
No, really?
It's what think about.
Okay, yeah.
Like it
smells like moonlight.
So are you saying that this is okay, the first kiss by the moonlight with the peonies and the roses and the thing. Okay,
yeah,
they did good.
Well, this one's burning.
Oh, I was like, I see flames.
I put out 2 of them. I'm trying to read the bottom because they put the scents on the bottom. Yeah. I got a little wax on me. I'll sing from
Patty is
like it between my fingers. I figured. Oh well.
Patty is way too keen to be looking at Colin's bottom.
Yes. The diamond, however.
I just tried to look at Colin's bottom and got burned.
That's about right. Penelope's like, hot. Penelope's like, get away from my man.
Diamond has fragrance of.
I gotta let that cool a bit.
Yeah, we gotta go back. Spark, Spring, Daft, Radiant, Jazz.
I'm gonna go. Is that Francesca, not Daphne? Because I would definitely put some of those, like Jasmine makes me think princess, and I think that she like a princess.
She looks like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Her hair, I swear they snatched it off Hermione's head from the live action.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love that it's not Emma Emma Watson, it's
Emma
Hermione.
Watson. Hey, Potter.
Yeah, never going to complain.
Okay, so instead of playing with fire, I did the smart thing and Googled.
Shut up.
And it says Colin's Return, the Bath and Body Works Bridgerton, the fragrant notes of warm leather, bright bergamot, rich.
It is very.
This man literally has been written by women.
It is
just like
but see, those are all traditional
novels smell like
those
this.
are all traditional male masculine.
Earthy, earth. It's
Earth, wind, and fire.
Earth and satchel, because the leather is
to me, it should have been leather, sea salt, because he's away at the sea. He is Pirate Colin. It should have been sea salt.
The ships are made of cedar.
And okay, I can go with cedar. Cedar, sea salt, and leather.
Or
no, he's not a traditional
flower.
I mean,
bergamot is
flowers all over the vest.
I know, but he's not your traditional male masculine figure. We need to get back to the point of the music.
We can. Oh, so are we galloping along, or are we away?
Oh, got a new one.
Bergamot is an oily substance extracted from the rind of the fruit of a dwarf variety of the Seville orange tree.
Colin ain't no dwarf. Let me put it. I mean,
well, however,
no, he's a.
You got the eyes perfect.
First,
there.
I hope you don't expect.
I was gonna go strong.
No, seriously. I just want to give you real expectations. I hope you don't expect what I think.
Would
you like my point of view?
Sure.
That was my segue into our first song.
I caught that. That was very well done. Dun,
dun, so for today's episode, I would like to thank the article Town and Country, because they put in timestamp. They put in what the song is, who it's covered by, around what episode, and the timestamp of when each song starts playing, and a vague description of the scene. And that is what we are working off today. And we like to give our props where they are due. So I will post the link Town and Country article when this episode drops, hopefully, if I remember to, Christmas Day.
Well, and I want to throw this out because I can't remember where on social media I saw it, but I'm going to just call out the original People magazine article, because that's how we found out that through a group chat, Luke Newton is the one who chose yellow. And I'm bringing that up now because we're talking about the media publications and the, we're putting our bibliography at the front of the dissertation. Yes. But yes, I'm going to call out the People interview for the Sexiest Man Alive issue, because it was all over social media, a bunch of people stuff. So I'd rather call out the main media.
For a format.
I do. That's why I said it the way I did.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's just we're adding it's been so long since I did APA referencing.
They're on the like 9th.
I hate it. Honestly, that was like I'd write my whole essay and then I would leave it till the day before, and then I would write my APA referencing because I just did not want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk point of view. This plays. This is covered, it's originally by Ariana Grande, but it is covered by Strings from Paris. I didn't actually realize, because the first half, episodes 1 to 4, is very, very heavy on the Vitamin String Quartet. Episodes 5 to 8 is a massive mix of a range of people, which is really nice to see. I mean, I love Vitamin String Quartet. I think they're wonderful, beautiful. They do they do an amazing job, but it's really cool to see a few smaller, lesser known people getting their limelight as well, because the Bridgerton effect is huge, and getting your music in Bridgerton is just a massive, massive opportunity for a lot of people. And I remember watching when part 2 dropped. I don't actually recall. It was a lady. So
Vitamin String has actually been in quite a few different television shows.
Yeah, they have. So it could be there was one song, and I remember watching on TikTok or something, and it was a lady, and she was watching it as it viewed for the first time when it first dropped, and it was her song that she did the cover, and she's there with her instrument, and her husband was giving her all the flowers cutest ever. So I really like that some of these smaller people or duos or whatever do get opportunities as well, because I'd actually never heard of Strings from Paris. But so they cover Point of View by Ariana Grande. Start out by, so we're covering episodes 5 to 8 today, which is 7 songs, the same amount as from episodes 1 to 4. We will discuss as we go along whether we like the song, what songs we alternatively would have preferred in that place if we did not like
And
the
again,
song.
starting with point of view, so specific, at least I think so, what the song is pertaining to or who it pertains to, because point of view is not.
So
most people want to think it's Penelope because A, it's a female artist, and B, like, he knows what he's doing, she doesn't, and everybody's all about like she's the outcast, and he was the most sought after, but he wasn't.
So this plays.
I mean,
around...
when you're literally being chased, it really is.
So
but
let's set the scene quickly before we jump into this part, so that people know where. People know exactly where this episode is, but
I think everybody who watched by now exactly.
So it is episode 5, around the 17-minute mark, that this song plays, and it is the mirror scene.
Right, but it's not at the mirror. He exposes her at the mirror, and he's telling her the way her hair cascades, been dreaming about her chest, all that stuff. Like, that is the mirror. The mirror is referencing to blue pools. The mirror is referencing of the paint on my wall. That would be mine.
Your eyes are like Wedgwood blue.
And I actually would love to go out in my shed and remember what color it's called. I have no, but the mirror is the theming for her in this scene. The song doesn't start until that boy starts taking his vest. So the song, even reading the lyrics and understanding that it doesn't start until he starts disrobing, it's about him wanting to be seen, him wanting to be able to see himself from her point of view. And we know this because of the letters, because he's like, I said, if Penelope could see me this way, maybe I'd self this. So point of view is straight up I'm about to expose myself literally and figuratively to this woman that I love, I thought I would never have. And I'm like, he's so worried about what she would think of him. And we all expect in our society, with the way society is, how it has been to, how it is, we won't even say women of what, but how it is with women. I mean, even they talk about every woman.
Well, to be honest,
something she doesn't like about herself.
Every single woman out there has been hard on their body, whether it be too skinny, too fat, too loose of skin, too pale, too dark, too hairy, fat disproportioned in different areas, too big a butt, too small a boob.
Bro.
Yeah.
like, are they perky or are they pancakes?
After breast.
Well, I mean, after breastfeeding,
breastfed. Mine literally grew overnight.
My gravity is treating me kindly.
I went to sleep flat. I woke up a double problem.
So
Tasha's like, Patty.
No, it's one of the few areas of my body that I don't have purity.
I don't either, though.
That
has been one
AKA
of the
I don't have bad backs from
I know,
from gravity.
Right. I don't have lumbar problems.
Yeah, no scoliosis or kyphosis here.
Don't brag.
Sorry.
I go in, if I tell a doctor that this literally every medical appointment I've ever had that I've told a doctor my back, they are like, well, if you lobbed one of those off and threw it on a scale, it probably
Just
weighs
one.
35 pounds. Thanks.
Sorry.
But no, I've never been insecure about that. I've always felt like that was an ass me. I accentuated it in my younger years when and like literally now I don't have to.
I like to encourage other people's days.
I've lived,
but I think the song can be taken both ways, but I do definitely see like the lyrics. We look at the lyrics. It's like you've got superpowers. Turn my minutes into hours. You got more than 20/20, babe. Made of glass the way you see through me. You know me better than I do. Can't seem to keep nothing from how you touch my soul from the outside, permeate my ego and my pride. That is very much Colin coded, the way that he talked about, if Penelope could see me this way, then maybe I can see myself this way. That is very much, and I think she does teach him how to love himself as himself. And when he loses her, or he thinks he's losing her to dabbling, or even when he returns and she's not being particularly not kind, not being kind, but she's protecting herself. I think he completely loses himself again because he's like, but I built my entire view of myself based on how Penelope sees me, and if I don't have her, then I need to find my own view again, and he was lost. So I think when they finally
his self-esteem and that look on his face in the carriage when she says when he first says what if
and then the line, I want to love me the way that you love me.
Yeah.
That is Colin.
It's all Colin. Because even those first lyrics, Penelope still has a secret that he didn't see through her and figure out in this moment. Like, this song is totally, he wants to be what Penelope, he doesn't feel like he is yet. And he wants it so much. And for me, I think that Colin is viewing this moment. I think he's dreamt about it. Like, the stuff he did with the ladies was, in my opinion, practice, but it was also like, this is what he expected it to be. And you could tell he was trying to make it as perfect as possible. Like, not just for her, I think either for him too. Like,
it was his first time, and I hate this term, but it applies here. This was his first time making love, not having sex.
But that's
correct.
And that's how it's described in the book.
Well, and that plays into my whole theory about how he acts after OD, because he, in his mind, because he didn't visit the club in season 1 with his brothers. Like, he wasn't into that scene. He didn't involve himself with ladies of the night or anything like that. And I honestly think he compartmentalized it, and he thought, this is how you're supposed to be with Hadley. And this is how you're supposed to be with somebody that you love. And it's supposed to be different, and it's supposed to feel different. And then when it felt the same, throes of passion, whatever, he felt like he had that way. Not that the two of them came together in passion. He felt like he had mistreated her. And he completely wouldn't even, he was back to, COVID protocol. He wouldn't even get near.
I don't even see it that, but I mean, we'll talk about it when we do get up to that scene, but I do see it differently myself.
I do, because when Kate brings up 2 drinks is celebratory, but an entire bottle is a cry for help. We only ever see him with 1 glass in his hand ever. We never see him take another sip in the rest of the season. Even when they toast, we don't actually see him sip. And his glass does look fuller. I do think he does have a drink in the study, because when he and Penn go in there to talk, there are glasses on the table that, like, the men had been in there prior, but there is 1 glass that has a little more in it than the others. So I don't think he's drinking like he did that night. He was trashed, and I think he realized
that he wasn't cool with his own behavior under the influence, and decided to I definitely I can see how point of view really fits into both perspectives. Penelope is seeing herself through his point of view, as in, you are beautiful, you are everything to me. And then he is seeing himself through her point of view. You are special kind, you are everything. You don't need to be something because you are Colin. You don't need to be a landowner. You do not have to be a lord or a prince. You don't have to be titled. You are Colin. You are my Colin.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of plays from both perspectives, not just one, which I love, because so much of the season has been very Penelope-centric, despite the fact that the title of the series is Bridgerton, not Featherington, which is kind of funny because the Featheringtons is the first family we get introduced to, not the Bridgerton.
Well, that's the point of...
Because they have to make a big deal
about the character that they loved. That was the most morally great.
I was debated about the fact what other hype of Daphne.
Well, part of it
and
was,
then season 2 was, the hype was Eloise. Season 3, the hype is Francesca.
Right. I mean? Well, it is all about and Daphne becomes, but I think the whole first scene being Featherington and Penelope was a nudge and a nod, told from the beginning.
I almost wish that Eloise had been made the diamond of the season in season 2, just to watch her try to sneak away and hide from the queen, and the whole hijinks of the Wile E. Coyote, can't see me.
What I would have loved, if they would have because they're out talking in the field, and then she announces the diamond, right? And you see her look around. So pretty much know she's looking for Eloise, and Eloise isn't present. Very similar to season 1, we do see Portia. We never see Portia really give a crap where Penelope is, but when she's introducing the girls to the Duke, she does look, she's almost shucks, I don't have Penn with me. Where is she? So I think that the queen was looking for Eloise. If Eloise and Penn would have walked in at just that moment, could you imagine how funny
actually think, like, if you think back to the Queen before she gets married, when she's just Charlotte, just
Yeah,
George,
she was
and just
Eloise.
Charlotte. She was Eloise. She was zany. She was intelligent. She didn't want to be married off to someone that she'd
And
never
talking
met.
about her sit, she could just move the right way
Yeah,
in himself. That was straight up.
That
That was
so I
hilarious.
could definitely see why she
So
would
the
want
Queen
to
is
choose.
really the transformation of Eloise to Penelope, because
Yeah.
she's more manipulative and influential and stuff like that. And as she has come into her own, kind of see like she started out Eloise.
Yeah. So for point of view, I think that gets the seal of approval from the Ladies Bridgerton. I do not think that we would change that song for pretty much anything. I think it fits exactly for both characters, exactly what it needs to be. It sounds beautiful. It fits the scene well. So seal of approval.
Well,
from
yeah, like,
us.
and if we talk about alternatives, like Luke Newton had talked about the song Mirrors by Justin Timberlake, which the lyrics are really good, but if you put that song, because it is faster in that scene, it would turn it from romantic, like, it would be like bow chicka bow wow.
It'd be more like it'd be more like Magic Mike.
And then he starts like,
not mine. I mean, that little shirt flip, we could have had a little Magic Mike moment.
Listen.
I know. Isn't there a new
My Roman Empire is the hip.
There's a new Christmas movie out, which is basically like Magic Mike, Chad Michael Murray edition.
I watched it. Yeah.
Is it good?
Called, Married Gentleman. It is very Netflix does mark.
Okay, perfect.
And
that's my favorite kind.
I'm not a not a fan of Chad Michael Murray and never have been. But it was super cute.
I was a Cinderella. Like, that's one of my favorite.
I remember when a Cinderella came out. I think me and my homegirls went
I watch
and
it yearly. I watch it yearly.
We watched it at opening week. It's called
a Cinderella story.
Oh, I love it with
Hilary
Duff. I love that. I still don't have to like.
Dude, her.
But so as soon as he cheated on his wife, my perspective of him changed completely. Same with David Boreanaz from Bones. The second that he cheated on his wife, I was like, I don't find you attractive anymore. So,
same.
Yeah,
same.
Just ruined. And
ruined
I don't
the mystique.
Yeah, I don't really like when men are too into.
We all wanted we all wanted Booth, and then we found out, he is.
Yeah, I loathe.
I had a super crush on David Duchovny in the 90s to the point of hating Téa Leoni, and then found out he had that blast. I'm like, damn it, David.
Did you have to ruin
it? I know him. I literally, when I read that, because I read it in a magazine, I was, David,
okay.
Why?
From X.
Yes. Seeing as, him. No.
Have you ever watched?
Okay, so seeing as we just covered
you watch Return to Me too, if you haven't.
I have not. Seeing as we just covered a song that we absolutely loved, No Notes, Perfection, let's go on to one that is a little bit more controversial. Thunder by Imagine Dragons. It is covered by a guy called Thomas Mercier. It is in episode 6 around the 8-minute mark, and the scene begins after Lady Danbury's brother, Lord Marcus Anderson, on Violet to pick up his hat. A cover of Thunder begins playing as he leaves, hinting at a romance between Marcus and Violet to come. The song continues as Violet goes to sit in the drawing room with her children. The song plays for under 30 seconds though. It is one of the shortest songs that you barely, it barely begins before it's
what it is. Anytime to register. I hate that.
And the only reason I caught it is because, like I said, I looked at the soundtrack prior to, and this was a late ad, because the original soundtrack list that came out was had the Arctic Monkeys song, and then Thunder all of a sudden was.
I would have vibed with that, but
we looked up that song and realized a little dark.
Yeah,
Arctic Monkeys was
we looked up. Patty and I had to have and we had to start the orchestra, the way the orchestra cover it didn't fit.
Well, the lyrics for this. Okay, so as we've talked about
in the lyrics. And I'm like, I just
okay. So as we talked about the lyrics for Cheap Thrills, so the first time that we get introduced to Lord Marcus Anderson is Cheap Thrills, and that's kind of alluding to the fact of them having a flirtation, a fling, a dalliance, if you will, not anything concrete or serious. In this scene, they are starting to set up it being a courtship and not just a in the shadows, a gardening moment, a little bit of hoeing over here, a little bit of pruning of the roses, the full body work.
had a little bit of hoeing.
I've done a lot of hoeing this week, to be fair.
That.
And I mean in the gardening sense, the literal gardening sense.
I just thought it. I just can't.
But it was super funny.
I've spent like 20 hours gardening this week, and I mean in the literal sense, because if I spent 20 hours gardening, I think I would be in hospital again.
Oh my! I love you.
I couldn't imagine 20 hours of gardening.
There may have been some gardening before I went, but it was not exact. So the lyrics for the Imagine Dragons song, it kind of alludes again to it being a dalliance, not a courtship. And so
not a follower, doesn't fit the mold.
Okay, a young gun with a quick fuse. And let me just tell you, no woman wants a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my own life behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, I bet he does. Fit the mold. Have a seat in the foyer. Take a number.
She was looking for bigger things.
Oh, she was. I was lightning before the thunder.
I think because they only play such a small part, and it pretty much is only the chorus. I think the whole point was that the storm was brewing. I don't think this song really has to do with the lyrics at all. Just like the Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
I think that they used it because all you think about when it plays is, hear the thunder. So it's like he shows up. He admits he could have sent a footman for his hat. So the fact that he came is the first signal to her that he wanted to see her, besides everything they said. And a lot of it is undercurrent and undertone. And as she's walking away and she kind of looks back and starts playing.
She's very debutante, like
with her first. She's very debutante. She's so flirtatious. She's all like a giggly little schoolgirl. Like she does that stupid little look. He likes me. And I think because of the key of that song, like I remember doing my first watch of that episode, I was like, it made me feel like I was like, I feel that emotion that she was feeling.
It's supposed to be like this building, it's like interest is
telling me you're all about Daddy Anderson over there.
I mean,
he does like to fit the box.
Because it's like, okay, I understand.
And she wants to break the rules. I mean, she's about to footman, so
well, I mean, we did.
That's just because
we were just watching that where they were reading excerpts from the Duke and I from the season 1 promo stuff. It's like they have them all say.
I'm also extra laugh at that. I do.
Yeah, but I think that
I told Smaug that it was a like putting on a sweater on a day.
I told Stephen to get on his side of the bed.
That's so great. That's the greatest thing.
I love you. Get away from me.
Get off of me.
Well, no, and I did say, like, there was a conversation where I was talking about, I don't even remember why I was talking about it, but I remember saying, like, I like cuddling. I'll cuddle in the bed, but when it's time to go to sleep, we roll away from each other and we go to sleep. Why does people want to I don't need a kid. No. I'm that person like, I'll be your blanket. No, you won't, Duke. Get over there.
So
please, for love of
the reading of the bands. The reading of the bands happens in episode 6, correct?
Reading of the chattel kind of fits in. Ouch. It makes me think of cattle, like cow, where she says she's a trust.
Chattels is when you sell something, anything in like you could write a list of chattels. So if you're selling your house,
it's like
it's anything that comes with the house that's not attached to the house. So the chattels would be, I'm leaving behind the curtains. I'm leaving
behind the broken settee. Don't know how it got broken.
So that's the chattels. So that's my brain's just mixing.
You cannot have the mirror that's coming with.
Yeah.
But the reading of the bands, that is episodes in them.
It was episode 6 because episode 6 is
because they like to have like a song realistically per episode or 2, whatever. For me personally, I do not think that this scene required music. It could have just had background instrumental and it still would have been like, it could have been like a happy, there is so many like beautiful airy, instrumental
it could have been a piano
like the
talking about thunder though, right?
I know, but Yes, Thunder. So the first time
we just talked about the reading of the bands that happens in the church where we want a song.
That's what I was about to say.
So I just want to be clear for the listeners that we don't think Thunder needed to be.
No. So personally for me, instead of having this scene here, I think that in this scene with Violet and Lord Anderson, I think that they could have had a fun, like, you know, the song that we get when Daphne and Simon dance for the first time, and it's upbeat and it's kind of shrill but in a good way, and it gives you the exact vibe that you need to understand of,
you know it would have been cool because they do use that same from Daphne and Simon's dance. They do use that same song later. Yes, or whatever, but I think it would have been cute because it is more lively and upbeat, and it would have tied into this season if they would have used the Irish reel or whatever that Colin and Penelope's first dance was.
Aww.
You know, that would have been adorable.
Yeah.
And it would have called back, and all of the fans would be like,
that's the beginning of the jig.
Yeah. It would have been a thing.
Yeah. So for me personally, the dance between Penelope and Colin at the church when Colin's breaking all the rules to dance with his girl because Happy Colin has to dance. He is the reincarnation of Happy Feet, my little favorite penguin. He is definitely a mating for life kind of a penguin.
Oh yeah, now that you say it like that, even a little bit of shut up and dance, that's upbeat enough for there. And you could do a short little part of it just for the dance part, not the talk part at the beginning. Just kind of start a little bit, like when he grabs her hand and she's like, "What are you doing, Colin? What are you doing?"
So you didn't like that?
I just think that
I'm not saying we don't like it, but if we're gonna take Thunder out, Thunder is extraneous.
Yeah,
we could have done something better here.
Yeah, I think that there were better placements for a song to be more impactful with a better song, because I just don't vibe with the song that much. I mean, it sounds.
I mean, even
good.
If we'd have had some like Pony for the makeup song at the end.
I think that would have been lost.
It wouldn't have been lost.
No. I'm aware.
All right. Let's move
You're just like, all right.
Galloping along.
Riding my pony.
I need to stop it.
Absolutely do.
And we'll just gallop along.
Patty is being too confident.
I mean, come on. His atrocious writing leads him to meet his future wife, and they end with a writing moment. They needed Pony. They needed some Genuine. That would have been hilarious.
Well, in the words of Confident, it's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now.
Yes. Oh my God.
Not gonna fake it.
If Pen do this business instead of this business, that'd fit there too.
That would have been funny.
Those lyrics fit perfectly to get you in line. Wait, except my
We're mad women.
Okay, so Confident by Demi Lovato was covered by another lesser known artist.
Oh, you didn't say what you would have put in the church because we were talking about it, so I want to give you your space.
Sorry. Sorry, it skipped. It jumped into the wrong part. Thank you. I did have those notes, but it accidentally skipped into Confident. Is that the part that I wanted it to go to?
I don't know if you actually wrote them in because we were just talking about it.
No. So I think that this is the ones that I did. So in the church scene, my preferences would have been either of these two Ed Sheeran songs. So we have Thinking Out Loud. Let me pull up my lyric. Thinking Out Loud. When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember that I love? Will your eyes still smile? And darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. And baby, my heart could still start at 3, is the age that Colin is now. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Well, me, I fall in love every single day. So that part for me is Colin and Penelope.
Yeah.
They had stolen kisses. They had, the touching of hands, very inappropriate for the time.
Scandalous.
Colin goes on. Well, most men in the Regency era winning.
So for me, that one fits. This was Patty's choice, was perfect. I found a love. Oh, darling, just dive right in and follow me. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Oh, I never knew were the someone waiting me, because we were just kids who fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up.
I didn't know you were the one waiting for me. And it says we fell in love as kids. So like it acknowledges that they both had feelings for a long time, but he didn't know she had feelings for him.
Yeah.
And she had just confessed it.
I will not give you up this time. But darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. So as you said, they fell in love as children. Neither of them knew that the other was in love with it. They weren't aware about what the feeling was. They knew that they cared for each other, but they didn't label it. Well, I mean, she did, but he didn't label it in his heart. He just knew he loved her, but as what? And then darling, just kiss me slow.
I honestly think she never labeled it until Marina said it out loud. And I think that Colin never truly labeled it until Marina said it out loud.
Well, and sorry, you go.
I think they knew, but because they both felt like the other was off limits, they weren't labeling it. And Marina labeled it for the both of them. Because she says, oh, you're in love with Colin. And she's like, what? You know not of what you speak. Like she's fighting against it. Colin, Penelope, he's fighting against it. Marina's the one called it out to the both of them.
Well, the line that I love, and this is because they've essentially just announced their engagement. They've just read the band. It's becoming final. And the line, your heart is all I own, is so important for Colin because he feels like he owns nothing for himself. Everything that he has is his family's. Everything that he is his family's. And this is now something that belongs to him, is Penelope's heart, and it's something that he has all for himself and he will never have to share it with anyone. I mean, aside from their children, but that's just an extension of your own love when it's a child that you made together out of love, I guess.
Well, and that line also fits Pen. I mean, granted, we know she has money, but she owns nothing. She has been at the whim of her mother and her mother's choices, and she finally feels like she owns his heart and she's now responsible for something. Because the reason Whistledown could come to be is because she didn't feel responsible for anything. You're getting to the mess part, which is my whole thing.
How did you know that I was reading that line?
I know, because that's my whole line of this song of why it is the song. Let me hit mute for a second so nobody has to die. Okay.
It's done dying.
My allergies just hit me all of a sudden. Like, I don't know.
Mine hit me.
You said these burger rings are your favorite. I'm about to.
They are my favorite. They're very savory umami flavor.
Is it possible that True Colors?
It could have.
I cannot because
for the filming for the wedding, I think they made it sacred and they wouldn't used it as published sound.
Gotcha.
So, baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot in the grass while listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. I mean, I could have rocked with the song in the post-coitus moment. I would have.
Correct.
Yeah. Honestly, this song fits their love story so much. And I'm actually really, really shocked at the lack of Ed Sheeran in these songs, because to me, when I think love songs, I think Ed Sheeran.
In a season with the redhead, why couldn't they have a redhead artist?
Yeah. And he's British.
You know what I think would be funny? And this is totally not Bridgerton, so it'll never happen. I think it would have been cool, like, I mean, in season 4, we're going to have a time jump, but why couldn't we have like a future fake, like a really, really far future? Because we're seeing, Pen and Colin be famous writers and all that stuff. And then their son comes in, the Lord Featherington, and it's Ed. He was on Game of Thrones for an episode. I think that would be
him and Claudia Jessie are friends. I have loved watching Claudia Jessie, and like she just treats Ed kind of like Taylor Swift does, as like the annoying little brother type. And I think it's adorable.
Well, and I love the make haste TikTok because he's jumping on the trampoline. So it's more like he's annoying little brother when she was annoying her big brothers when she said that line. I thought that was super cute.
Reviews?
Definitely an umami flavor. I can see where it's called a burger ring
because it tastes like burger.
But it's not like a regular burger. Try one.
I already tried one.
You already tried one. That's
to me it comes off like
it tastes like a Funyun.
Yeah, like a Funyun that they've added burger flavor, because I still get the onion flavor.
I would rather Funyun.
That's my favorite.
Like if they're smaller than fun.
They need to make fun. Look, they're gonna listen to this episode now, and then in 6 months' time, Funyuns are gonna come out with the mini edition.
Yeah, did you hear my marketing line?
Yeah.
When you only need a little.
That's brilliant. Okay, so we've covered Thunder, and now we are up to
like I think when I posted Perfect as a song of the day, I said they could use it in season 4 because now they're living at Featherington House and we know they had their kiss in the back garden. Like there could be a moment where like they're outside playing with the kids and you know Ray or somebody comes, it's time for the kids to go to bed and they're walking in with them, but then he like tugs her arm and sneaks her behind, like, and they have a sneaky kiss and Perfect plays. And he does a little dance with her. I think that would be super romantic and cute, and it would give you the idea that he's always kind of tugging her arm, like, and sneaking, because in the book he's always sneaking her behind a curtain or some other thing for a little snog. So I think that I want to see that in season 4, like him being like, oh, you're walking by me
instead of the balcony. You know what I really want for season 4? Instead of the balcony dance scene, it's not going to happen because I've already done it on the balcony. I want the full Cinderella story in the gazebo with the roses twining up, with the quartet playing. That's what I want.
Oh my god. Oh, at the masquerade, just like it was in a Cinderella
story. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I didn't specify the masquerade.
But we don't know how they're gonna end it. The book ends, their epilogue, they're at my cottage, and they're 5 years in, or 5 babies in. She's pregnant with the 5th, I think. So their epilogue is super in the future. So I don't know if Bridgerton's going to use that epilogue. They could just be in another dance and they could do that. Because they usually try and end the season with another ball. And we don't have a lot of that in Benedict's season.
No.
It's going to be another ball at Featherington House, but it's going to be the first ball that Colin and Penelope host. They're going to have the ball at the end of the season, and they're going to invite Benedict and Sophie because they're kind of outcasts.
Think about it. We've got Lady Danbury, who has taken her stake in the Ton as she hosts the first ball of every season. We've now had the Featheringtons host 2 of the last balls of the season, so I wonder if that's going to be the new tradition. Danbury hosts the first, Featheringtons.
Yeah. Because
the butterfly ball was not Featherington's technically. It was Dankworth Finch.
It's still Featherington. It's Featherington centric. Penelope's money paid for
Featherington centric, but it wasn't even at Featherington House, and it was Dankworth Finch.
I know. Yeah, but I'm
but
still
it's still
wrong,
Featherington
juxtaposition. I mean, Penelope paid for the whole thing.
Yeah, Featherington adjacent.
I like Featherington.
Yeah.
I can't.
All right, let's roll.
I can't vocab right now.
Let's roll with Confident, a song that we did vibe with. Okay, Confident. Okay, so Confident by Demi Lovato was covered by Archer Marsh. Sorry.
So now this man has 2 bangers.
Yeah.
In one,
because he's the Mr. Worldwide. Yeah.
So it plays in episode 6 around the 54-minute mark, and it is when Cressida decides that she would take credit for Lady Whistledown declines the reward. Queen Charlotte challenges her to publish a issue. Lovato's Confident begins playing as she and her mother arrive at a ball looking confident and intimidating the Ton. Well, this is one of the more amusing parties we've been to, Queen Charlotte comments after their arrival.
It does not start when Cressida enters the ball. Right. It starts when Colin and Penn are dancing.
Remember the line.
Because it's the song where she says like, this doesn't compare to a dance in the
That's ironic because I just clicked on my phone to go bring up this exact scene, and this starts at 54 minutes, and we're 54 minutes into this episode recording.
Oh, now that's what we call
numbers.
Perfect time.
Okay, 54 minutes is
because it starts when Penn and Colin are dancing and talking, and then it goes to the door. She walks in. Now the chorus, I think, like
that's the focus.
Yeah, because for Cressida,
when Cressida walks in,
like it's on Penelope when it's the verse stuff, which is like, I'm the boss now, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yes.
Because this is where she makes the decision she's going to publish.
Yeah.
And she says Whistledown is power.
It's when it hits that da, 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 is when Cressida
the real build up the
when it's building up to
crescendo.
And the thing is the confident chorus is very antagonistic. Even though it's a song about female empowerment, it's about, you don't want me to be empowered. And the chorus is so antagonistic that it's like, I think this song works perfectly because the verses are so like, I'm the boss now, blah, blah, blah. And that's focused on Penn. And she, in that moment, like we know while they're dancing, this is the most confident her and Colin have felt in society.
Yeah.
They are engaged. You might as well be married in society when you're engaged. They are acting like rules don't apply to them anymore because, like Benedict said, once you find your person, they don't.
Rules will only be followed if they make.
And if you think about it, if you look at the trajectory through this song, and their confidence crumbles when Cressida enters the room, both of them, because Penn is like, this is the chick that's trying to steal my identity and my power. And Colin is like, I will not let her ruin our evening. And I mean, he's made a big promise. He doesn't even know everything that's going on. And I mean, he doesn't realize that, but that's a big promise to make. That's almost setting yourself up for failure. How can you say you're going to make sure she doesn't ruin your for the both of you? You can't control both people, Colin, you know? And then the next conversation they have on the dance floor after Confident is over is about him opening up to her about, you know, publishing his journals, like editing his journals. And he's very, you know, lacking confidence, wants to be able to, if he can do it himself, all this stuff. But she is lacking confidence because she feels like her whole identity has been stolen from her, has been stripped away from her. So she's now trying to do what her mom wanted, which is become a part of his, like, just let me help you. They're both grasping at confidence. After Cressida enters, like, I mean, she threw them.
I mean, confidence, I think,
but they weren't really confidently because there were parts of themselves that being honest about.
Yeah, but we don't know about honesty yet. That was the most confident they felt when this song started for them. So that was the most confident the two of them felt in public.
Well, and I think the first part really fits with Penelope's vibe at that time. So it's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now. Not gonna fake it. Not when you go down, because this is my game and you better come to play. I used to hold my freak back. Now I'm gonna let it go. I'm making my own choice, bitch. I run this show. So leave the lights on. No, you can't make me behave. This is very much, it's very antagonistic, but Penelope's kind of...
The fact that she's with Colin and this is post Mirror.
Oh yeah, she probably...
I think this is like, and she's kind of flirting when she says like, this doesn't compare to a dance in the church where we're to be married. Like she's starting to create their flirting language.
Yes.
Like I honestly think if we think about the trajectory of this ball, considering it's at a house that is friendly, considering nobody really, I mean, Violet's kind of watching hardcore, but she's already been Scooby-Dooed by Francesca, and she's left and Lord Anderson's followed her. Like if Cressida never showed up and that never became a thing, who's to say they wouldn't have snuck off? And they would have been the one in that study, not Ella.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of getting flirty and kind of being like, I think that she was feeling her cuteness. She was feeling cute. Might sneak off to a room later with my mans.
I mean, she did kind of like have a lot after the Mirror.
And she's the boss now, and you're gonna go down, Colin. And that's the scene we missed. Didn't people say there was a scene where he goes? I know, but I would have.
So the part that really fits with Cressida's whole vibe, it's time to get the chains out. Is your tongue tied up? As in, that kind of is almost a challenge to the real Lady Whistledown. Are you tied? Where are you? Because this is my ground and I'm dangerous and you can get off, but it's all about me tonight. As in, you may have had Whistledown before, now it's my turn, I'm taking this. And it's almost like a challenge, like, are you going to call me out? Like, because she's the queen bitch, she is the Regina George, she's the mean girl.
Yeah.
And there's not...
And I think that's why she comes in, she's in like the red dress and everything else, because she is like, the only way this is going to work is if the real Whistledown stays quiet.
Yeah.
So she's coming in with every ounce of the put on fake, because we know she lacks security as well. She's not very secure, she's pretty insecure. We saw that through the whole Debling era, but now she's like slapping it on. Like she's not just red lip, she's red dress.
That was her armor.
It was. And we've never seen her in that color.
And I think
ever.
It wasn't a color, I mean, that was a color that only the harlots. Like we see Danbury in like burgundy.
Danbury wears red.
No, she wears burgundies, which is different. I don't think we've seen her in like a bright harlot red or, you know.
I mean, we didn't even see Sienna harlot.
No, she wore burgundy. So sultry. I
And here's what I want to know. Do we honestly think that Madame Delacroix made that dress? No.
It could have come from the modiste down the road that Penelope's run out of business.
No,
because I honestly think that Cressida's trajectory of clothing from the moment that Genevieve and Penn form their partnership and become friends.
I think that Cressida started,
yes, they get more outlandish, but they get ugly, and they're not the greatest.
I don't think she was shopping at Genevieve. I think she started going to the other modiste, and so that's why Genevieve probably had no problem in Penelope like crushing Cressida as well.
I like that plot twist.
But if we believe in the power of Whistledown, that other lady didn't stay in business.
No, but she could have packed up to another shop.
Yeah.
She just
other people could have come in.
The star that she was
not been in Mayfair.
The star that she was wearing is very outlandish, and I don't think that it was something that Genevieve would have been. I think that Cressida would have been going
the bow on the back. I don't think
she doesn't want to go where everyone else goes because she is an outstanding kind of.
It's a bow. Like
that she made into a devil.
I think that Cressida truly believes
it was supposed to be kind of butterfly-esque, and it's like
I think Cressida in this moment when she wears red in, I think that she truly believes that if she has the confidence, if she exudes power, that she can bully Lady Whistledown into staying quiet, because if she is just mean enough, bad enough, big enough, that she can bully whoever it is into staying low. That was my take on it anyway.
Taking it back to one, Madame Delacroix said it doesn't matter what she makes a cow, but nothing she can, so that's hide that.
Exactly. Okay, so
Bridget,
this is a song that we like we like how it plays out, but we do think that there are alternates that could have fit just as perfectly in this kind of space.
Maybe instrumental as a whole, or
what for Confident?
It didn't have to have Cressida in.
I feel like it should have been more of a mean girl vibe than Confident, because she's not being confident, she's being mean. So
you know what would have been a great song, although the theme of the song is a woman, kind of sarcastically going, yeah, this is what I am, because men call her that, but Meredith Brooks bit.
Yes. That would have gone.
That would have been good. Oh, or any Annalisa Morris.
Alanis Morissette. Which they had Alanis.
It had to be bitch.
Season 2, yeah. Yeah, they did You Ought to Know.
Hero. Yeah, I know. Now that you've said bitch, I don't want to add anything else but that.
I mean, if you take away the lyrics and you just think about what it would have been like instrumental, what it would have been strings. It would have been so good.
It would have been good.
And we could have cut out the part where it played over Penn and Colin in that moment. Because there was a lot of Cressida storyline, and there had to be, because she's juxtaposed against
actually,
Penelope.
I think it fits for Penelope as well, because she is more than one thing. People try to put her in this box of being all morally black or white, but she is gray, she is color, she is yellow,
and at this dance, she's a bitch. She's a lover. Mm-hmm. She's still a child.
She is.
And a mother.
Oh, she is. Woo-hoo-hoo! Flowers for
Patty. She doesn't know it, but she is.
Yeah, she is all the thing. Okay,
I think my only gripe, I feel like my gripe is that, again, we have it that's
well, and that's the whole thing. They wrote Penn and Colin both as like outsiders. Not just that Penn was the wallflower, that they both were kind of outsiders. They both were, and another, I mean, I love Glee. My Spotify rap
I saw the Spotify.
I listened to Glee, the Glee cast, the most, and they had one original song in the whole run of the show, and it was called Loser Like Me. And that could have been, Penn and Colin coded so bad, because it's like, we'll talk about it someday when you wash my car. But like, yeah, I think they wrote it because in the books, Colin was very charming and very popular as a Bridgerton, but just as who he is, because he's super charming and like, he is the Prince Charming, because like nothing bad ever happens to him. Everything works out for him.
The whole ton likes him.
Yeah. I mean, even Julia Quinn said when she thought about Colin's character when she was writing the book, it was that like if an accident happened to him, like if he fell, he'd land on his feet like a cat. If he dropped his toast, it would land butter side up.
Yes. Just a charmed life.
Charmed life. Nothing bad ever happens to Colin Bridgerton.
Really wish that we got the I bet you could get away with murder kind of thing with Lady Danbury, and Lady Danbury being like, actually I agree, and then getting the whole Lady Danbury getting away with murder thing. Like that whole conversation I thought was iconic, and I would have really, really liked to have had
it. But that conversation, like we were talking about before, how they didn't use very many, and I think it's very important, as I've been again watching the press tour documentary that M Edits does on YouTube. Whenever they talk about the scenes from the book, they always call them moments from the book. And that's because we did not get the book. And I think there's so many elements of the book still, though, because they had decided, you know, Penelope is a central part of this show, and she needed to extend beyond book. We know this. And there are so many things in that book that could be pulled out and plugged in anywhere else. And that Danbury conversation is one of them, because Colin goes back to being super charming. Like in the epilogue where he comes by and he says he gets it from his father. Like he's back to being super charming, just like Anthony went back to being happy.
Yes.
Colin goes back to being super charming, happy-go-lucky guy. And I think there's going to be a T, you know, because now Penelope's going to be, I mean, she's a
trendsetter. I hope that we get that scene in the next season with Lady Danbury then, because I mean, there's no reason they can't have it. But I think in the books, it was one of those moments where there was a realization moment that Penelope had put Colin on the stool, a pedestal, and he realized that she thought that he was this perfect man, that nothing ever, you know, he had a charmed life, nothing ever went wrong, that his life was just easy for him all the time when it wasn't. And she had this perspective that wasn't, for the most part, it was correct, but he didn't feel that way all the time.
No, he didn't feel that way at all. And I think in the show, we see elements of it. Like normally when a man and woman get caught by society and there starts to be gossip, they both take a hit. The gossip hits the both of them. The men were so worried. Like, look at how worried Fife was at the end of season 2. And look at what the family went with Anthony. Look at how they treated the whole Colin Marina thing. You have to steer clear because, you know, it could hurt you.
Yeah.
We saw that it can affect a man, but Colin pretty much came out of Marina unscathed. He comes out of the whole he and Penelope being found out to have been alone together several times, smelling like a rose. He is a gentleman. He's gallant. The only thing the Ton has an issue with, why, like, you're a saint. Why would a lost cause? You know what I mean? Like he got out of that smelling like a rose, and that's how we kind of see charming Colin gets away with it. And I almost think that and that's how, I mean,
they
that is why she wrote
scourge of the earth, like, oh,
and that's why she wrote it on the way she did. It totally verified that story.
Yes,
because she Colin sees Bridgerton. Him that way in that moment. Like he's that unattainable Prince Charming. He is a pipe dream. He is a fantasy. He is not reality. And she wrote herself in that moment like a dumb big girl. I personally think how much she vilified herself, like anybody with two eyes. The
math is math.
Penelope hardly ever gets written about ever, and then all of a sudden when she does write about herself, and that kind of points out when Danbury says, I feel like Lady Whistledown has been writing more like finding herself. I almost feel like, well, yeah, like that might be what got her to figure it out, because you never mention Penelope Featherington hardly ever at all unless it's with her whole family. The moment her name isn't mentioned, and then when you do,
the moment that Penelope writes about the engagement, and Lady Danbury, because I was just watching last night in my prep video, is Lady Danbury is like, oh, for God's sake, like, oh, Penelope, you've just taken the biggest misstep. And it's not oh no, someone, the way that she acts and she
says it,
the way that she says it, it's Penelope, you fucked up, you know. It's like
she runs off to the Queen's.
She knows that Lady Danbury, she knows that Lady Whistledown's style, and the way that she knows the Queen
she
knows the way that the Queen analyzes things, that she's going to pick up immediately that there is different and off, and that she's going to jump on it like a horse, like a horse.
There's no antagonism.
She jumps on it like a horse.
She antagonizes the Queen in like every issue.
Yes,
and there's nothing written about
that, because she could have totally taken that as an opposite. Like, why is it that?
Well, and she doesn't even talk up, like, to antagonize the Queen. She could have talked up Lord John or whatever.
Yep,
Lord Kilmartin, and she doesn't. Like, a fine match.
It was very.
I just spent hours at my in-laws' house celebrating my engagement, and I have 5.5 seconds to get this out.
It was, hey, look at this big win that I've just had. Oh, and this happened too. It was very, hey, look at me. This big centric. There's been this whole build up for the last 4 episodes up until this point, and oh, now I'm engaged. This is what we've been building up to. This is why I've been distracted. And go.
There's no antagonism to the Queen, because her whole story, it's not a look at me, look at me. It's antagonizing her mother and her sisters. Her focus of who she wanted to antagonize was the wrong people.
Yes, and
she wasn't thinking about the Queen at all.
Yeah, because she's standing outside the door waiting.
Her audience was no longer the Queen. I think she had figured out over the last few years that she was entertaining the Queen, so she continued. But
she wanted to piss off her.
Yes. Her focus changed of who mattered to her, because she had it playing out in her head how she wanted this to go, and we know it went the way it needed for her, but everything she wrote after that, she didn't care about, because that was the message she was putting out.
Not anymore. Now I'm coming.
And that's why it's important that this scene, I know we're going to get there and analyze and talk about it later, but she's wearing the dress with peacock eyes.
I've got my dad messaging me like, Tosh, I'm not getting emails. Can you help? Oh. I went over to their house yesterday and it was, hey, Tosh, can you sign me up for Google? He's got a Google Gmail and everything, but he exceeded. And so he's like, can you set me up an account that's paid for? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, and now can you do my flybys? It's about to run out. Oh, and the internet's not working on the TV. And I'm like,
Kate just figured out it's like not anything I'd ever thought about, honest, but because I have so many Bluetooth items in my room, because obviously my office is my bedroom.
Yeah.
The reason we were having issues with the Wonder Boom is because it was alternating. Like when I had something come on my phone for sound, it would switch and connect to my phone. So I had to turn my Bluetooth off on my phone.
Yes, because your phone is its preset, like dominant.
Well, I have my headsets I normally wear, my earbuds and my headset, they're both, but I never have a problem when I pick up my phone and I'm looking at something when we're potting with the headset. And I think because it's an actual headset, but the Wonder Boom is listed as a headset, even though it's a speaker.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's the thing too. Like it'll switch to whatever is making sound because it's a speaker.
At least this one has been way, way, way more successful, because let me tell you, last time that we did our music app, we were down struggle street trying to get it sorted. And this time
between the Wonder Boom issue the last time, because we didn't figure that out last time. We figured it out this time.
Yeah.
And you having to use your phone. It was a hot mess.
It was.
We came to
I'm sorry. We had
Excuse me, Kay. I always smell like rose.
I hate roses.
I don't.
Today we're smelling like Colin.
Today it's
a little bit different.
I don't actually have any candles in here. I have where I used to have candle in my makeup.
And I want to point out, I'm throwing this out there now. Merry Christmas to everyone out there, including myself, who have the canon that Colin has loved Penelope from the jump, because they officially canonized a cut line. It is canon now because it's licensed on a candle. It is just us. It has only ever been just us.
Do we know? So I'm gonna put it out there because
that was a line that was cut from the first kiss scene.
First kiss. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna put it out there that we're gonna actually
because there's a whole cut section where she talks about, he said if he kisses her, she says I'm ready, and she she gets all nervous, and she goes through the whole I won't hold it against you, whatever, and this line is some I think to calm her down, like,
because we didn't get any particular song for the first kiss. It was just like a very heightened instrument
crescendo of music.
It was just,
but to be honest, I think it was such a sweet raw moment that I think that a song might have actually taken away from that, whereas just having an instrumental where we're not thinking, oh, what song is that, what lyrics goes with that, I think it was actually quite perfect, just having the raw.
Do you know what would have been awesome? And because have you ever seen Mirror Has, God, you guys never watch anything.
I've never even heard of it. Look,
oh my gosh.
We are both
That's where I get
babies.
my main line for myself, okay? Why would I wear makeup? It's just me, only in color. Oh. Yeah. It's Barbara Streisand and Jeff Buff. Love it. And I'm going to tell you, and seriously, the storyline of Return to Me. So listeners, dearest gentle listeners, if you want to see two really cute romances while you're in your Bridgerton drought, Return to Me and The Mirror Has Two Faces. And I hope their streaming numbers go nuts because they're both such good romance movies. They are like they are like a big bowl of ice and a mashed potatoes and gravy. Like they're so comfort food for me. If I'm in my field, if I even catch sight of Driver and David Duchovny on my TV, I stop. I'm gonna
pretend like I'm not 20 years like before this timeline and know who these people are.
I am not 20 years.
No, but these movies came out 20 years before my time.
And then,
you know what? I could actually really
for
rate.
A first kiss, I would have died. I would have been like, yes, it's Mirror Has Two Faces. It would have been so good.
I actually, you know, a wish that I have for Bridgerton, which I
need any edit person. I don't know
how
find the song from the end of Mirror Has Two Faces and put it over the first kiss for Christmas.
I don't know how this would ever play out. I'd have to find something. I love a little bit of Andrea Bocelli. I think that would be perfection.
Or the three tenors all together.
Well, to be honest,
Bocelli and Placido Domingo, I think, was one. I can't remember the other guys.
I love Bocelli singing with his son. That's some of my favorite stuff. Bocelli.
Oh, and what's the song he does with Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran. I was about to say Bocelli and Ed Sheeran.
It's one of Ed Sheeran's songs, isn't it?
He does. Is it Perfect or Thinking Out Loud?
It might be. I think it's Perfect.
I'm pretty sure he redoes Perfect, so they could put in that version. I think they did
Perfect at his house in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the video.
What?
Yeah.
He does have a thing about Italy.
If they could actually have, you know what? I know that we don't usually have singers on, but if we could get Jelly to sing at Violet's birthday, it's never gonna happen because
Jelly to sing at Violet, that'd be dope. I mean, if Sienna can sing the opera at the Trowbridge,
do you think they're gonna actually have Violet throw her own birthday party, or are they gonna throw it?
No.
Do you think Kate throws it, or
I feel like Kate scheming with Benedict for the masquerade.
I see Violet not wanting to acknowledge it because 50 is 50, and she's back in her gardening era. But I think that Kate will encourage her.
Aren't we all at almost 50, trying to grow a second garden?
Sorry, you're only one. I love you dearly. We are here to help you. You're 50, though. We are doing that for you because we love you so much.
You guys are.
I have never left my gardening era. Thank you.
It's a
well-maintained garden. Thank you.
Ooh, you know my awkward beginnings. I struggled with gardening for a long time.
She didn't have the green thumb.
Oh, I kind of didn't know how to use the instruments I had at hand. I learned some things as I went, but the one thing, like I have said this recently, like
compost is your best friend.
I want a regular gardening era. I deserve that in my life. I don't want a damn seasonal.
For Christmas, my wish for all our listeners is to be in your gardening era. Whether that is gardening on your own, whether that is gardening with a friend, whether that is a gardening session.
We're not dancing. I am not dancing with myself. I'm done with. No.
I said for all of our listeners out there, I hope for happy gardening over this Christmas period.
Happy gardening.
Find yourself some
and if you don't want to really grow things, don't use as much fertilizer. Like
oh my god,
I used multiple kinds of fertilizer this week. I went in with like a tomato fertilizer, a citrus fertilizer, a blueberry.
You're talking about a real garden, but you just almost told everybody you were in your hoe phase. I use multiple kinds of fertilizer.
I use rose fertilizer, gardenias. My garden is and I'm being very literal right now.
Well tended.
My garden is looking lush right now. Okay, there is no euphemism in that one. On that note, I'm gonna
You belong with me. Are we there yet? Or Yellow? Are we there yet?
I'm actually gonna call it. No, I'm gonna call it here today because we still have 4 songs to go and we're at an hour 36 and my son needs to be asleep in 5 minutes, which isn't gonna happen because I still have to brush teeth, get on pajamas, all the rest of the hodgepodge. But if but I mean that's what I was thinking. I'm never gonna complain about a little bit of a K moment. So we're gonna have to split this into 2 parts.
Well, that's good. We're throwing this out as a Christmas present anyway, and we still have the 2 iconic songs get to still be in the same episode.
And that's the thing, is because I cannot possibly separate Yellow and You Belong With Me. Those are the songs. Yellow is your thing. You Belong With Me is like that has my whole heart. Taylor Swift is my homegirl. That is one of my favorite songs of all time. I cannot sing it to save my life because she sings really high. I screech it for dear life is what I do. Yes. My son says no singing, mummy, no more singing. Hurts my ears.
On the phone with your girlfriend. She's
upset. She's going off about something that said
she doesn't know your story like I do. I have said that line.
Yeah. So I need that to be an entire moment. We are going to sing the entire song. We are going to live through every blow by blow of that video clip. I don't care about any other song.
In hand as we sing.
It is not just the song. It is not just the lyrics. It is not just. It is
the moment.
It's the video.
It's the Pride and Prejudice.
The video. The story of the video fits it too.
Everything. So I need an entire hour just to blow by blow this song because this is my Picasso moment. Okay, this is my bread and butter.
When we get to Yellow, like I will.
Yeah, Yellow's yours.
Well, not even just the interview, but the lyrics. The lyrics tie.
Yes.
To Colin Greek stories.
Yes.
In the season.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have done my research now. Like I've been saying, I'm so glad that we've taken so long to get to this episode. Well, not this episode, the episode that we're gonna record today, but I decided to save it because I wanted to refresh myself on the Odyssey before we got there. So I will say for today, gentle listeners, we will leave it there and continue on next week's episode where we will, well, this is a confusing one because actually this is going to come out after.
Yeah. There's no next week's episode. There is, but this is just your Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. Merry.
Put a bow on it. Yeah. So I can't say what next week's episode will be because.
Then you should put a bow on it.
Yeah. I have no idea what we're actually going to be up to by then. I suspect we will be probably midway through episode 4.
Okay. So let's do this since we're calling this a Christmas episode. So everybody has to name one thing for Christmas. I would like to see this in season 4 related to pollen.
For season 4, I would like to see. Well, it's not pollen. Can it just be anything I want to see?
Dang it!
It's pollen-ish.
I know.
Okay. I want to. Okay. So for season 4, I've already said
are you wanting to do a Banoffee one? Is that why?
No.
Oh.
No Banoffee pie over here.
Well, I guess we're all naming.
This is a Penelope. I want Jane Austen. I want Jane Austen writing to Penelope. That is my Christmas wish to myself. I want Jane Austen writing to or having a meeting with Penelope to thank her for publishing under her own name and having the confidence to be in society and still have something tied to her own name and be proud about being an author as a lady. That is my wish for Penelope. Okay, and then you guys can have your Christmas wishes, and then we'll circle back around.
Okay, so my Chris wish for Penelope is developing her friendship with Lady Danbury.
Mm-hmm.
That we get in her season like we should. I think that Danbury recognizes her power, and yes, she's figured out her own self and the queen accepted her, but I think there are people that are going to be, their noses are a little turned about the stuff she said, and I think Danbury is actually going to mentor her to teach her how to let that stuff roll back. Mm-hmm. And how to use her influence more like Danbury does now, how Danbury has. And I think that actually is a friendship that worked with the story being later, considering how they wrote the story. So I really want to see that. I would love to see her there, like having tea and something happens and the whole Colin who could get away with murder business happened. Like those kind of conversations all work because, and like all the conversations she has about like her kids and stuff like that, like we get to know more about her because she is developing a real friendship.
Yes.
And a mentorship. I want
Kay.
That's my Christmas wish for Penn.
My Penn.
Yeah.
Navigating that dynamic. I want, Penelope like connect with Elle and maybe give us I want to Elle seeing Penelope happy, and I really want to mulling over the idea of attachment.
Plant Daddy. Yes. Get it, Plant Daddy.
Okay, so this is just crystal ball. The spirits have talked to me. You kind of said something. So what do we have that we don't have in the books? We have Colin and Penelope developing an entire understanding and relationship with each other through letters. And we have a repairing friendship between Eloise and Penelope, and Eloise is really like not interested in men, but how is she going to get to know somebody, without going to balls and stuff? And she's really trying to figure this out. What if Penn suggests that she writes someone? Because we haven't seen Eloise write that many people, and in the book, she's always writing somebody. She's writing Francesca.
Always.
She's writing, always. We only see she's talking about when she's trying to figure out who Whistledown is in season 2. She tells Hyacinth she's
always scribbling in her book. I hope that Penelope encourages Eloise into being a writer. Now that she is a published writer herself, she says, I'm already a published writer.
I still stand by they're going to make her a public speaker.
Yeah, I mean, she can public speak about the books that she writes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if she's going to write feminist stuff, I can see that. But I think it would be, now that we've had the letters that shouldn't have happened already, because that story's been done. Colin and Penn did it. They weren't supposed to. They did. They wrote letters. I think it would be like Penn would be like, I got to know Colin so much. This is when it happened. Because Eloise originally goes, how long has this been going on? No, wait, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
And I think as they start repairing and they finally start going back to being, the girlfriends that tell everything.
Yeah.
She finally just one day goes, so why Colin? How did this happen? And she tells about the letters, and that gives Eloise the idea to write.
Okay. So tacking on to what you said before, my Christmas wish for Colin specifically is I wish for them to become published writers together, because their entire relationship is very much about them being, they are very much an amalgamation of each other. They become one, but not in a toxic kind of way. They are very much finish each other's thoughts, finish each other's souls. They are just an extension of each other at that end. And I think that writing a book together would be this really beautiful coming together of minds.
Well, yeah. And you talked before about the traveling with my wife.
Yes.
And whatever. Which I think would pull her in, and he's announcing to the world that she's helping him, because he said it to the family, but that book was his and published in his name.
Because he felt like he had to do something on his own. And now that he's married, he realizes it's not about doing anything on your own anymore. Yeah. It's about being a couple. It's about, doing things together. It's about building a life together. And I think he will learn that he doesn't have to do it on his own.
And I think we have a work of fiction that she works on in the book that now that they made him also an outsider, a wallflower type thing, I think they could write that together. And, it would
the funny thing is
it's their story. It's almost autobiographical, she says.
Yeah.
And it has to have a happy ending because she doesn't know anything but happy.
I actually wish that the Wallflower story is a retelling. I can imagine now that Penelope and Colin are married that she would spend a lot of time with Violet, and I hope that Violet shares her story of how she fell in love with Edmund, and it gives Penelope the idea to write, because remember, she was the original Wallflower, and I wish that the Wallflower is retelling Violet's story, and then that's what they then publish. Julia Quinn publishes the Wallflower book from Penelope's, and it's not an exact retelling of Edmund and Violet, but
because Germany is getting Violet's story.
So I hope that it is kind of like a retelling of inspired by Edmund and Violet. Even like, I don't have to have Edmund and Violet, I'd be happy to, but if we got a Wallflower novel from Julia Quinn that is inspired by it, I would take anything that we could get, you know?
Well, no, and that would be great. Like, even if it was kind of like how Queen Charlotte was past and present, and we saw a lot of Danbury in the story with Charlotte, if there was a back and forth, past and present, Violet, Edmund, Colin, and Penn.
Well, and I would like the present would be Violet telling the story to Penelope, and then it kind of jumps in between, like sort of like the Princess Bride.
It's kind of like you guys, your romance reminded me of, and that's kind of how it goes into it. So a lot of the present day stuff would be like her spending time with Violet and talking about this for the book or whatever, but we'd be seeing more of the Colin Penn domestic, their romance now, because her romance with Lord Anderson is not going to be the same as hers with Edmund. So, and I think that's really going to kind of play out more maybe in Francesca's season, because it kind of goes with that whole second chance thing. But I think, like, you know, as she's telling her story.
What if it is Violet, Lady Danbury, and Penelope together having tea, and they are discussing, like, Violet is confiding in Lady Danbury about feeling like she's cheating on Edmund because she's now having all these feelings for Lord Anderson. So the present day is them talking all together, and this is sort of how Penelope and Lady Danbury start forming that bond as well through the connection with Violet, which would make sense. And it's kind of, and that's how it also includes the story of Lord Anderson in the present, and then flashes back to the story of...
Or it's not talking to her at all. Wouldn't it be sweet if, because she's always visiting, her grandchild's right across the street, Kate and Anthony are like, they're back and forth, and Daphne's disappeared. So what if she's like super doting on this baby, and Colin and Penn happen to catch her, she's telling stories to the children, the grandchildren, about her and Edmund, and she's kind of telling them, like, because she's her father's daughter, so she's kind of telling them in an imaginative, like, fairy tale kind of way, like bedtime story kind of way, and they start
like
they start writing it down.
The granddad telling the story.
They start writing her stories down, and we're hearing her tell the stories for the children. And then at the end of the season, at the end of the, you know, they present her with the book, The Wallflower, and it's all the stories she told their kids.
I'm sorry that my Christmas wish turned into a whole thing. Patty, what is your Christmas wish for Pollen for season 4?
My Christmas wish for Pollen is that every time passage spice scene that happens in Benedict's season is theirs, because Benedict was their clock.
Yeah.
I think that when we have the time jump, like I've said this before, there's sweeping papers off a desk, and I want Colin to show Anthony up there. I think writers know how to use a desk.
I would like a desk to be broke.
Yeah,
one can.
That is my Christmas wish.
If Twilight can break a bed,
I want there to be a funny quip about the mirror. Like, don't move that. I want that anything that has to do with the passage of time in Benedict's season needs to be Pollen, because they lost so much spicy time to Benedict showing the passage of time. So I want them to have so much gardening. So I want, by the end of the season, they need to have 5 kids.
I don't even know whether euphemism stops and the literal begins anymore. So lost in this metaphor.
I like it.
Like, want by the end of the season, I want to see Penn like, no, Colin, I'm tired. Do you see this belly? I'm about to pop a kid. Stop it. Or funny, like it'll pass on to it'll like harken back to the press tour if Eloise goes, Colin, stop shagging. You have too many kids.
I love
What do you want to be, mom and dad?
I love that at this point, Penelope is so frustrated with Colin, trying to get up on her all the time that she's no longer English. You made her from New Jersey.
No, I made her from Northeast Ohio.
The Jersey accent came out there. I was like, Penelope, you are frustrated. Okay. Okay, what is your Chris wish for Pollen?
I need nerd in the one, Penelope, what a boss.
Yeah, 100%.
I just need
Well, now that she's not awkward and doesn't need to dance with anybody, like the masquerade ball would be the perfect chance because they're masked. Well, nobody knows who anybody is.
I think they are going to be that couple that dances well beyond what is proper side.
Yeah, but there's going to be a part of the evening where they're just sitting off in a corner and just talking.
Bob.
We just need.
Yeah, it's the Oprah Winfrey moment. You get a bob. You get a bob.
You get a bob. You get a bob.
Love it.
Oh, love it.
Don't walk past the bee over there in his sunflower. You're gonna get stung.
You're gonna get sunburnt. You're gonna get stung. You're gonna feel that burn. Okay, darling.
Oh, PJ baby, good job covering your mouth.
You like water helps you. That's good. Okay, I think that is our.
She said he looks very much like Steven.
He looks zero like me.
Yeah, you were the incubator.
She's like, I see zero. You are Violet Bridgerton. She said she is just the vessel.
Yeah.
There is brown eyes. There is brown eyes.
That's about it. That's about it.
A big booty.
He's got the Greek eyes and the Greek booty. That's it. Fine.
Everything else is his daddy.
Yeah, that's
the teeth are daddy's too, aren't they?
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. You can help. Okay. For today, gentle listener, we will leave it there and continue on next episode. If you have anything in particular you would like us to cover or any Bridgerton knowledge you would like to share, please head to our Facebook page, The Ladies Bridgerton. And if you're enjoying our podcast, please remember to click follow on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you are listening.
Once again, thank you for listening to the musings of three mad women and a little sausage.
Yes.
Yours truly, Tash the Kiwi,
Lady Patty,
and KK.
Would you like to say goodnight? What do we say?
Say Merry Christmas.
Can you say Merry Christmas? Okay, you try again. Merry
Christmas.
Oh, good. Show up, little man. Woo!